beautiful humans. My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, Quarantine, where we sip that tea, honey, and I guess what? Leave you.
Spill that tea.
You're on the next record, baby. Free 99. Let's pop. Let's pop.
Always leaving me hanging.
I can't help it, Chad. I can't help it.
Where's little mommies?
Douglas. Lost her. She
And
disappeared.
Glitty is sleeping, so.
Well, as part of our series this week, Voices to Know, we have Will Wolfe. He's just released a brand new LP, and he's got a growing fan base, and that was a little bit of tunes that we played to come in. So, Mr. Will Wolfe, my brother, something for everyone. Let's go. How are you, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yes.
Excited about the new record.
Yes, we're going to definitely dive into that. But before we dive into that, 2020 has been a crazy year. There's been a lot going on. Lots of, you could say, negativity. But, on this show, we like to flip it and shed some light and positivity. So with quarantine, everything happening, tell us, what have been some positive takeaways that you've gotten from this whole experience?
I'd definitely say a lot of positivity on the music side. Creatively, since I'm producing everything on my own, it's not like my studio time's canceled or anything like that. I just get sort of some nice downtime, So definitely get to get some extra work done, which has been great. I know I just released this 18-song LP, but I'm already starting to piece together some new stuff, which I shouldn't be doing yet. But all this extra time, it's a great, move for some creative stuff to happen.
I like it.
Using that time wisely. That's what you gotta do.
Absolutely. What about personally? How is it? Have you dove right into the music? What about the peaks and troughs personally? Any kind of stepping blocks to get over and be damn, get out of a funk situation, anything like that?
There are some days where it's just they're all blending into one, and it's just what are we even doing right now? And it's just there are days where it's too bad. You can't go out with friends, can't go see a concert. I can't play any shows.
Yes.
So it's, from an independent artist perspective, it's not the best, but in terms of getting your own personal stuff done, practicing, songwriting, it's, could be worse.
I like that.
That's
Definitely.
true.
It always could be worse, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes. But do you think that there's been some time where you've been able to reflect, because we're so used to being with friends or being able to go as we please? Do you think that you've been able to take some time for yourself, whether that be maybe there is something, maybe there isn't a positive, maybe there is the days that you have the ups and downs. What do you think has been a reflective moment for you during this time personally?
Yeah, I think it helps everyone. I think everyone sort of needed this in a way. Obviously, a lot of terrible things are coming from it, but the fact that everyone's able to just sort of slow down for a minute and just catch up with 10 years that might have just gone,
Yeah.
I think it's a great time for people to just, maybe this is a halftime little break for people to be let's do this after things are back to normal, or maybe I should have done things differently when it was go, 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 go. Now that I have this downtime to think about that.
I like that. We're on halftime right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Steal that shit and use that shit. Trademark it. Copyright that shit.
But so speaking of your music, you have this album out, Something for Everyone. Kind of, for our viewers who are listening, walk us through that process and kind of how that came together, and what was your creative mindset behind it?
So, there is a very interesting process, putting this whole thing together, because my first album was very much I'm just gonna see how this goes. I was literally in the process of teaching myself music production, as well as finding my voice. So this feels a lot more like a debut album than my first, because it's just it feels a lot more authentic, and this is me. This is sort of the best I can do right now, and something I can be more proud of than my first album. But creatively, it was very strange, because it it spanned over a full year, rather than I'm gonna sit down for a month, a track a week, just bang, 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 bang. It was I was feeling completely different things from, a year ago starting the first few songs to, wrapping it up only a month ago. So
Wow.
it covers a large, portion of my life, which is really cool.
I love that. I think that's kind of dope looking at that this does span and was created over a year. It's like, and
Yeah.
wrapping it just a month ago, he went from like, I get to tour this, I get to take this out, I get to gig it. And then it's like, no, you don't. We're going to do it indoors, and then adapting to that. So I think that's really kind of, and I know listening to it, that you do see a vibe and flow, and the lyrical content of it is very kind of, it's personal, it's about you, but it's not, it's a young man experiencing life, experiencing things, and you can see like that. How important is that lyrical content and that process for you actually, right? You're a jack of all trades doing it all, but how important is that lyrical thing, being able to share what's up here?
That's really important. Like I was always a guitar player at first, and I was never like, I'm the singer guy, like my voice is my thing. It was always like, let's hide behind the guitar and the instrumentals a little bit. But this time around, I was like, there's not as big of an audience for that. Let's like find your voice, man. So it was like the lyrical thing also was a way for me to like, it was like, let's be extra clever. So people are like, oh, that's cool. But like, maybe he wasn't, I don't know. It's just like, I think a lot of it is like self-reflective and like sort of giving myself advice. But a lot of it also is just like, let's read the room right now. Like, in terms of, what people might want to hear, as well as like what I want to be putting out, because
I like
there's
that.
a nice little fine line there.
Yeah, I always say, like, when I think of musicians and stuff like that, it's like, it's such a great way of like therapy and like writing down things that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, which when you think about it, like so many people can relate to like what you're saying about your music. It's kind of like the journey of life. It's almost like an audiobook, I would say, like
Yeah.
listening to stories. So, like growing up as a kid and, you know, having this passion for music, who would you say was like one of your biggest inspirations when it comes to music, and kind of who you follow down that path? And it's like, you're emulating and kind of like, that's kind of who I'm feeling.
hmm Yeah. I'm very phasey with like who's my like main inspiration right now, and that's like part of the reason why the album is a little bit like all over the place genre wise, and that's why I called it something for everyone, because it's like, if you like pop music, there's two good pop songs on there, and if you like folk music, there's like some really just stripped down like guitar stuff for you too. So like you can
Something
kind of
for everyone.
yeah, you can follow my taste sort of through the album of like who, like I can tell you like, those were like based on like these songs that I was really loving at the time. But I would say like through it all, some of my biggest, especially on the guitar, I would say John Mayer, um, big time.
We
Like,
mentioned that before you jumped into the interview. I was like, you've got that vibe there. I was like, this is, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he did that, especially on the guitar, like his ability with the blues and stuff like that, and what he's done, bringing blues music into pop, and that's just like super impressive. As well, the Grateful Dead have definitely played a role in sort of like, I would say the main lesson that the Grateful Dead taught me is to like sort of let your song breathe a little bit, because like sometimes I'm just like, let's go intro, verse, bridge, chorus, like let's do it like straight through. But like there's a few tracks in there where I'm just like, let's let the thing breathe. Like you wrote all this instrumental stuff, like let's improv over it a little bit and have some fun, you know?
It's just like what we're doing for 2020.
Yeah.
Letting it breathe. I think that's just like a good way to put it for like life. We're always moving a million miles a second. We're never taking a moment to like just breathe. So
I like that. It leads me into my next question about letting it breathe. Where you are right now
Uh-huh.
in the creation of something for everyone, what is the key ingredients to Will Wolfe's sound? If there's something for everyone, but there is a connectivity through the whole piece. So what are the takeaway ingredients that you want people to be? That's Will Wolfe.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I'd definitely say the guitar. That's like what you'll hear in every song. But on top of that, like I think in my first album, I didn't appreciate like what I could come up with melodically and like whatnot on the bass. So like you'll hear a lot more like intricate bass lines in this album, I think, and those really help drive some of the songs. And then as well, like I would say like I'm decent at piano. I can get it done, but I definitely used a lot more, not necessarily like synthesized stuff, but like pads and like stuff in the middle there that like kind of hides, but definitely supports like a lot of the songs.
Oh, he's a jack of all trades. Giving
Right?
it, I like it.
You have to, I feel like you almost have to be, you know what I mean? Because I always say, like, never wait for someone to come knocking on the door. Like, build your own door. And that means sometimes having to, like, learn something that you never thought maybe you would. But I feel like we're in this new day and age where it's like adapting, and you got to do it. So you're on the right path. And when it comes to your music, though, is there any special collab you would ever want to have in the future? Whether that person is, even though they have to be alive, but is there someone that you would have wanted to collab with that's no longer here?
That's no longer here.
Yeah.
I would love to sit down with Jerry Garcia and, you know, do some really cool like acoustic stuff with him, perhaps.
Yeah.
Someone who's alive, I would really like to get in the studio with Mac DeMarco.
Okay.
Just 'cause he's also an independent producer and like total like music tech nerd guy. So like I could sort of just like talk, you know, like pedals or anything for like hours and then come up with some sort of like groovy little track. And that'd be super fun, I think.
I like that. I like that you're dabbling in all sides of this. And I mean, you're already like, you know, let it breathe. Let this LP breathe, because you're already running ahead. I was like, be in the moment. That's always how I view things. And I was like, what about John Mayer? I was like, come on, man. If he's gonna call you, you're gonna be like, no, sorry, not today.
In a second, I would say.
I was like, I felt like that one goes without saying.
Yeah. That's not even worth talking about.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and do some more rapid fires. Okay, so we're going to do it's quick, because we see some people who say very elongated answers. So just think about whatever comes to your head first, okay? We'll give you like 3 seconds. No problem. 3 words to describe you.
Mellow, sometimes insane, but also understanding.
All right, there was more than 3 words, but it was all part of the grouping.
Yeah.
All right, next, Netflix and chill or party like a rock star?
Depends on the day of the week. Probably Netflix and chill.
Okay.
Okay. What's the best compliment you ever received?
This is going to take more than 3 seconds, but pretty much someone's dad at a gig that I really respected was like, I would really pay a lot of money to see you play, even though he's already seen me play for free. I was like, okay, you know, something's going on here. Maybe.
Okay.
I like that. I want to wrap it up with the last one, because I think it's, you know, you just dropped the LP. What's the best thing that's happened to you this month?
I'd say release day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting that thing out there, and like after just the fact that it was a year's work, it was just like, whew, gone. You know?
It's done. It's there. So that's a positive way to, you know, end this with your amazing LP. So for people who are living under a rock, let people know where they can follow you at. Also listen to your music, support your journey, and what's next to come.
Yeah. Everything is sort of just Will Wolfe. Instagram at Will Wolfe. Follow me on Spotify. You know, besides all of that, just go listen to the music. Honestly, look it up. Something for everyone. There is something for everyone on there.
There's no way you can forget about that, because it's something for everyone, literally.
Yeah.
It's a dope little concept. I love it.
It is. Where can everybody follow you at, Matt?
Matt Dillon, 1983, baby.
And you guys can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew. And until next time, we will catch you guys same time, same place of a special edition of Quarantine of Sippin.
I think just a smile. Yeah, I think just a smile. Yeah, I think just a smile. Let's take a walk into the view. Don't go looking for someone new. The summer's short, so